better than they used to be. But
okay, the Tusk.
The off lane Shaker or Tusk could be in the off lane. I guess we'll see what they want to do, and it will be the Mag Tusk.
Okay.
So
I can't believe I forgot about Tusk, man. We've seen him picked up so much over the past week. It feels like I'm excited about this hero pool. Looking towards TI5, we still don't know if there will be a mini patch. Maybe they'll tweak some of these heroes, but it's a fun medley of heroes in this meta. You know, Tusk, Bloodseeker, Winter Wyvern. They're all pretty flashy, kind of playmakey type heroes.
Prepare
I like it, man.
for battle.
yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't actually seen the statistics on how many heroes are getting played versus previous patches, or if it's actually a wider pool. But it just feels like a nice action-packed pool more than anything. We're not seeing too many very passive, turtley type heroes. Even some of the carries that are in vogue, Clink's something that we've seen, Fear running quite a bit. Like, that's still a hero that gets involved in fights most games fairly early on. And, you know, we're not seeing too much of like that, you know, disgusting Terrorblade type of Dota. So
missed the 0 there on my mini-map size. My icons were all invisible.
Were they like size 60?
They were size 90 instead of 900. That's my fed there. I was like,
so
hey,
adorable.
Where's the Radiant side? Oh, those little ants chasing the other ants. Ah, right. Okay. I forgot my magnifying glass. Very good.
Very cute.
So here we go, guys.
Yeah.
First best of 3 of the day. This is Group A elimination. Best of 3. Winner moves on to the playoffs. Loser goes home empty-handed. This is a big series. Both series today. A lot on the line. Radiant side will have mYinsanity. Mitch will be in the safe lane on the Viper. Interesting change of pace there. Gogi will take the Wind Ranger mid with this beautiful little haircut. Lizard on the Rubik. Grizine will take the Witch Doctor, and that leaves us with Milan on the Bloodseeker. I think slated for the off lane here. Dire side, we've got the Vega Squadron. 9 Pasha. He'll be on the anti-mage, headed to the off lane. No one will be mid on the Queen of Pain. Winter Wyvern, played by Simi the Slayer. They're standing today in the place of Solo. Shadow, here on the Earthshaker. And we got Mag. He's playing some safe lane Tusk today, as they are indeed committing to an aggro try to shut down this Viper of all heroes.
Must be Canadian.
Yeah, he must be. And it looks like our mYi actually doing an aggro try as well. Maybe they'll call an audible here as they see these lanes settle down. But this is an interesting opening to this laning phase.
It looks like they're expecting the Tusk solo off lane maybe, and wanted the Viper 1v1, because Viper does not do well against tri-lanes, and we can already see him in trouble here bottom lane. In fact, this might be the first blood. Mitch trying to tango his way through. He needs to get in 2 trees, and he's not even going to get close to escaping now. Pasha on the chase will have another blink soon. Mitch, can he go for the TP out? Fissure, mana, not quite there. Might be able to make it out. Auto text.
No. He's out. That was a bit close for comfort. And Mitch doesn't even have to chew through his salve. Actually, just a tango used, so not too bad. Mitigates the first blood, and they will rotate the supports down. So we'll be a try on try now. Not a bad start for the anti-mage. He'll get a little bit of space to get some CS here. This poor Viper.
Yeah, they were, I think, a little caught off guard by the full offensive tri-lane with 3 melee heroes on the team. You generally wouldn't expect that, but they will lift Pasha here bottom. Taking heavy harassment. And
lucky cask there, bounced right back to him. Yeah, actually, I don't think there are any creeps nearby, so good cask, rather, from Grizine.
Gets punished, but it's going to be a tough tri-lane if they look to stick that way, as there's 2 ranged supports on the enemy squad. For now, though, did blink in, a little bit of aggression coming out. The Wyvern going ham. Shaker marching in. Grizine may end up going down here. The cast starting to bounce, and, well, look at it go. Wow. Enough to bring him back to safety.
Great disable there. Viper couldn't get back to the lane fast enough. Without boots, he's pretty damn slow, and he had to do it the old-fashioned way. Uphill both ways to get back to the lane. So
mid lane, no one just going in onto Gogi. He's going to commit for this, I think. Oh, one more auto attack.
I think Gogi lives here. It's going to be kind of close, but the tango should regen him up just enough. Yeah, that last tick will just get him low.
That is brutal. Normally, Wind Ranger can just sit back a little bit farther, has very good range, can always CS with Power Shot, but looks like he tried to trade a few too many blows with no one and gets punished and sent back. Yeah. And because he started no tally, he's not going to have the bottle just yet. It actually slows the Wind Ranger down quite a bit.
Yeah, it really does. She's fairly mana intensive early on. Power Shot's not a huge mana cost, but she really wants to spam that out. Harass, bully the Quap a little bit, and now it's the other way. This is exactly what a Queen of Pain wants to do in the mid lane, is just get that early edge and then try to exploit that. We'll see some rotations from Vega, though. Pasha's moved up to the top lane to go up against the Bloodseeker, partially to put him in check and also to try to find some farm for himself. We'll see the supports on the Dire side rotate towards the mid. Fissure comes out, but Gogi does end up on the other side of it. Anti-Mage still not finding the space to farm that he would like, though. Gerzine's already rotated up. It's a 2-on-1, and he is really suffering in CS. Only 5 right now compared to the 16 of the Bloodseeker, who's just been CSing away.
And it really feels like the main weakness here for Vega is just the laning stage. They've got 3 melee heroes. I would say generally a pretty weak laning carry in the anti-mage. There's certain matchups where he can do quite well, like 1v1 versus Darkseer. Yeah. We can see anti-mage pull ahead, but or if he's like in an advantage tri-lane where they have really strong range supports, but they don't this game, and no matter how they move the pieces around, somebody's going to pay. This time it's Mag Bottom who gets bullied by Mitch. This may actually end up being the first blood. The Nether Toxin, is it skilled up yet? Nope, only level 2.
1 point in that poison attack, just not quite enough. It's only a 10% slow early on. It's rather underwhelming. Tusk has boots, and I don't think the Viper or the Rubik do. Nope, so yeah, no way they can close the gap there. So back to the top lane, more musical lanes for Vega as all of their supports have now rotated to try to protect the anti-mage, and it's settled down to a 2-1-2 from mYi. So we'll see if this is enough to kind of tip the scales for the anti-mage and start taking some farm from this Bloodseeker. One good thing for Vega, though, is this mid lane. Queen of Pain is the leading last hitter right now and still beating Gogi by a pretty decent margin. So at least they've got that. Maybe no one can control some tempos here as he is just about to roll over to level 6.
Yeah, despite the musical lanes and how it looks like it's a really rough start here for Vega, the AM in particular struggling a bit, he's been getting his regen coming out now. Has the complete Poor Man Shield, the boots, the Tango, and the Quelling Blade. That's not too bad, all things considered. And now he's in a tri-lane on dual lane, and this is a matchup where AM can actually farm. So I think overall, so far so good. Mag's getting his levels as things settle down. The Queen of Pain has been dominating mid. The lane's even up a little bit since Gogi got his bottle, but he had to make that trip back towards the base. Queen of Pain has just hit level 6. Maybe wants to try to go for a kill, but Lizard is waiting to protect him mid.
Yeah, nice rotation here from the Rubik, though. He is notably low level, only level 2 right now. This Rubik has spent a lot of time just moving around lanes, moving around the jungle, and that is definitely coming at cost. Oh, no one. He'll get telekinesis. The power shot gets queued up, but blink back to the high ground. He'll be okay. Thirst. Yeah, Bloodseeker not going to be able to get here in time. He'll just TP home, safe and sound, and will survive. You know, Mag's getting a lot of experience in this off lane, but that's not all that he's getting. He's farming pretty decently. 19-1 right now on the last hit chart. Has his bottle out with his brown boots, stout shield. This is close to the dream for an off lane Tusk. He's really gotten a lot of space. He'll have level 6 here and just another creep kill or 2.
Yeah, Max, he started up top, I believe, so he got quite a few CS there, and then he rotates down with the early boots, and from there, able to farm up the bottle. I think mYi with the musical lanes is kind of reacting to Vega, has put them also somewhat on the back foot, and compared to what you would expect. But they are going to make it go here in Pasha. Now they have the Maledict. Don't get that lucky cast bounce back in time, and he's able to just blink away.
Yeah, a little unfortunate there for the Radiant side. It's interesting how the advantages are right now. Radiant have the gold advantage, about a 1k net worth lead, but experience is going the way of Vega. Their supports are just higher level. Or no, pardon me, the other way around, rather. The Dire supports are a bit low level here. Shadow only level 2 at the moment. So he's been playing this defensive Earthshaker and still hasn't really seen the action he was hoping for. I haven't really seen any super aggressive tower dives, though. As I say that, Gogi in the mid lane could be in some trouble. Quap, level 6, actually didn't skill her ultimate. Went for 3 points in the Scream of Pain
bottom lane, though, they're making it go on Mitch. This could be the first blood here as the Splinter Blast comes out. Mitch, caught, not dead, the cast, bounces beautifully, he's gonna survive, and now they turn. Here's the Bloodseeker, angry and looking for a counter kill. He'll find it. Now into the trees, one Seema. Seema has no mana, they're gonna lose 2 for this. They get absolutely nothing in return. How does he get away there? Unbelievable.
Well, I've got an answer for you. It's this guy right here. That coconut was going crazy. Grizine making all of that possible. He also gets the first blood as well. I think a tick from his DOT is what actually secured that first blood. So now this Witch Doctor will have boots. He's off to a great start, and mYi strike first and take a great fight. First blood possibly could have gone to Vega. I want to go back to what really had me stopped up before that fight started. Quap now level 7, still not skilling the ultimate. Have you ever seen this, LD? I don't think that I have, or at least if I have, I never noticed.
If you feel like there's no way you can get a kill, then there's not much point in skilling the ult, right? Because you can just level up your Scream, it helps you farm a bit better. It's a much more spammable spell, so... I mean, I have seen it, but generally you see Queen of Pains having the potential for a kill at this stage, and I think Largely, it's just down to they haven't sent like a really strong ganking support mid yet. We haven't seen the Tusk come mid from the off lane. We haven't seen an actual support like the Earthshaker make his move on mid, maybe with the smoke. Generally, when Queen of Pain hits 6 to 7, a support comes to the lane to gank for her and try to set up that kill. And the last time that she tried to make a move was when Rubik was just waiting mid. So I think because of that and because of the anti-mage pick, perhaps they felt like they didn't have the resources to devote to that Queen of Pain. But you're right, the end result is an unusual one, which is that Queen of Pain was not really playing very aggro, although now she may make a move. Has the ultimate, is level 8, and in position to set up a kill.
Yeah, it looks like they'll tighten the noose around old mYi up top. You look at that mini-map, it's a 4-on-1 with a Viper in the middle. He drops the Viper Strike, but that will do next to nothing. And now that Sonic Wave feels a little overkill-y to me there, but hey, they secured the kill, so no one
why don't you suck on that?
Gets one up on the scoreboard.
There's the Queen of Pain ult.
Yeah, so I just leveled it up, ready to use it. Boom! Kill. Okay, good. So now Mag, he gets a rune in the bottle. He backs up here. Snowball onto Milan. Blood right. Does he time it properly? Yeah, he does. Rupture. Mag, a little ambitious there. Power shot for the snipe. Gogi gets another one up on the scoreboard. Yeah, awkward rotation there from the Tusk. Hands one over to the mid laner. I'm not sure if snowballing there is the play. It felt like maybe just running might be better and then let your supports have a chance to get closer to you. But well, it's just, if he ruptures you first, then you can snowball. Well, then you can keep running, and when he blood rights, then you just snowball, and you know you can time it properly so you don't get hit. But when you snowball first, the Bloodseeker is always going to get it off. So maybe feeling like
if he times right, like you mentioned, it can be a little tricky to time. And
I guess he knew the Wind Ranger was nearby, so sort of dimmed if you do, dimmed if you don't. There, not a real easy path for escape, but.
Well, in the end, ends up being another nice kill here for mYi, and that Bloodseeker is farming. I imagine we're going to see the Midas coming out of Milan. It seems to be the build for most Bloodseekers.
Well, you'd think so, but he went for the power treads first. A lot of the Bloodseekers that go for that Midas tend to grab it actually before the treads come up, just because you want to get it out as early as possible. We're here almost 10 minutes in, 1,800 gold. We'll see what he chooses momentarily. I think it's still the build, but he's doing this in a different manner than we've seen most
bottom, making a move on Grazine here, but waiting is the Bloodseeker. Might be able to turn this onto Mag. He goes in, doesn't have mana for the Rupture, but it's going to get it soon. Death Ward coming out now. Oh, they put him under with the Cold Embrace, and don't have the vision for that Death Ward to keep on going. Now Rupture's ready. I don't know if he can really get this kill. Mag just going to TP himself away. Milan won't end up finding anything as 4 Radiant Heroes rotate bottom. So.
Wow.
And so giving a little bit of space here to the mid lane. Queen of Pain will be the big beneficiary, it seems, just left to her own devices.
Yeah, well, it was a 2-on-1 up top. I thought they may try to make it go on the anti-mage before that started, but the support rotated down straight away. And yeah, unfortunate for the Witch Doctor, his curse actually didn't connect, so I don't think it would have been enough damage anyhow, but it would have at least put that Tusk kind of in the danger zone. All right,
Speaking of curse, I'm looking at Seema here, and quite a while until he gets the level 6, as he's hasn't been finding too many levels. We're now 11 minutes in. Shaker's only level 3, and to me that's the biggest worry here for Vega, is less the kill score and much more the support levels. They just don't have them, and they need to start finding kills on cores. That is the #1 way to catch up in experience, and they're looking for one top.
Yeah, they'll try to go for it. It's a 3-on-1. Mitch in a lot of trouble. Ice Shards once again. A tough game for the Viper. Normally we look at the early game and say, hey, he's dominating. This is what Viper's made for, but he just is a Viper without a home. They're picking on him no matter which lane he goes to, and to follow up on that conversation before, there's that Hand of Midas on the Bloodseeker, who also does drop an ultimate, but no one comes in as well with a huge Sonic Wave, double damage online, brings down Grizzy. Milan should fall as well. Witch Doctor channels the ulti, but it just tickles. It's a huge fight for Vega. 4 in the grave on the side of mYi, and all of a sudden this Dire team starts to gain some momentum.
They have a lane ward bottom, and they also have a hill ward mid. They didn't see anyone on Vega in the neighborhood in those lanes, and they just go anyway. I think he'll just cocky, basically. Wind Ranger sat mid, never joined the team, and Gogi was very low on mana, so I don't think he could have done too much, but to me that's just mYi not really communicating or respecting Vega's counterplay potential. Looking at Vega, they were underleveled, but these supports now, all of a sudden, Wyvern level 6, right caught up with the enemy Witch Doctor, the Shaker, level 5. He's been spending some me time bottom, now going to take over mid for a bit, and They're caught right back up, Andrew, and going to be relevant forces moving forward.
That was a much-needed fight. You look at this graph, and the game was starting to slip from their control a bit. Nearly a 2,500 net worth lead in about 10 minutes for mYi is now nullified into the triple digits, actually below 500. No one getting off a great ultimate there, and making another slight change of pace on this Queen of Pain. We most commonly see either Aghanim, Scepter, or Orchid as the first item that a Quap rushes, and here he's going for the Yule's Scepter. We'll talk about it in just a moment as Seema in some trouble. He gets ruptured, but the shackle doesn't latch. Now Grazine comes around the side, hits him with a Maledict, does have the ulti here, will decide to burn it, and Seema, well, he's going to tank all the hell
are
ice
you doing, bro? Get out of here.
And now they're going to turn. Milan comes in, Walrus Punch finishes off the Witch Doctor. They will get the kill on the Wyvern, though, as Milan comes in to finish him off. Ice Shards, not quite enough. Does no one pop forward to try and finish off this kill? He does, but low on cooldowns here. Knocks off the Salve. Bloodright may still connect. No, he just gets out of the way. But the Shackle, it latches. Not before the Bloodseeker falls. The Shackle not high enough level. No one blinks into the tree line. Now a Snowball out onto the Rubik. He'll fall to the Wrath of Mag. Gogi turns on the Focus Fire, but hey, those arrows just tickle with a Walrus of that fat. Now Shadow Air comes in trying to make some space for Mag, but that's not happening. There's a Viper Strike that's come about, and the dominating streak will be ended. Now the Shadow Master on the run, but cursed up. The DOT should be enough, but okay, the Ice Cube sets up for some of that magic damage. And
not sure that's going to get the job done, but
yeah.
good effort.
Good try. So it looks like a chaotic fight here. A 3-for-3 when it's all said and done. I think the recap actually captured everything. So bit of a break even, except Anti-Mage was farming that whole time.
Yeah, that's the key point. This was a 4v5 fight, and Vega, they were down 2,000 gold around that 10-minute mark. Not a massive deficit by any means, but a solid one, and all of a sudden they're right back in it. The anti-mage has had some me time, gets the key items you need to be able to sustainably farm the lanes, even walk into the jungle and not get into Thirst's range, where he's going to have some vision on you. And yeah, I think they're in good shape here. They have their levels on their supports. They have strong defensive abilities to keep AM alive, even should he get caught. And mYi don't really have the best solutions for an AM. They, as we've talked about, they have some. They have good physical damage. They have Rupture, which is pure, and as we've seen, AM blinking always is going to take that Rupture damage. Yeah. As he can only blink 1150, unlike the Queen of Pain. Speaking of which, mid lane, blinks in. Yeah. Goes on to Gogi here, but will end up just walking away. So I think they're in really good shape. Now they're making a move bottom.
They want Milan. The smoke will get broken here. They get the vision. Snowball forward with the stun. Bloodright will silence all three, but not before the Bloodseeker dies. And I feel like this is part of the issue with going Midas in that slightly delayed fashion is he's still in farm time. He picks up the Ogre Club, probably moving into a BKB, but all things considered, this Bloodseeker is not that scary for this stage in the game relative to what we've seen on all these past Bloodseeker matches. And I worry that he's not going to be that scary force. When he can't be a bully, he is just not that intimidating of a hero. Sort of like Disruptor. When you're ahead, that hero just feels broken. Every time you run away, someone gets glimpsed back and they get another freebie. Sort of similar with Bloodseeker, but if he's not strong enough to run in and find kills, if you can just turn on him and say, actually, let's just hit him with a snowball and finish him off, then what's the Bloodseeker
And he doesn't
do?
want to be running in this game, at least not until he gets a BKB. He's got to run into Winter's Curse, Fissure, the Snowball, the Walrus Punch. Even if someone gets low, they can be protected by a Fissure or Snowball, let alone just them engaging on him directly. And you've got a very survivable carry in the Anti-Mage, who will take the Rupture damage, but if he gets into the trees, you might not be able to finish him off. That's what we saw last fight was. Yeah. AM blinked into the trees, he went to like 10% health, but they just had no follow-up. And the other thing is, he needs to be able to run in and do something, because how much good does the Blood Rage really do you this game? They don't have a hero like Lina, you know, with that instant single target burst. You can Blood Rage the Wind Ranger, and then she can do decent damage with Focus Fire, but it's still an auto attack. It's not like it's Zeus Ultimate, where you're guaranteed to get this damage off. So I would agree. I think Bloodseeker being shut down this game more so than some others we've seen is a very big deal. Shackle, though, will connect on mid.
All right, no one in a lot of trouble here. Yeah, he's going down. There's that self-Yules that we talked about, but I think he still dies to the DOTs here. We'll see if the Maledict's enough. Actually, he's got more HP than I thought.
He got the stick off, and that's going to help keep him alive.
Okay, he lives through that. I thought that was a lot more damage. Very nice. Great support, and again, Anti-Mage just pressuring the top lane. Grizzly TP's in, but he's low on mana. This could set up for an easy kill. Mana Void just chunks him down. Now Milan puts out a Rupture. Pasha will blink into the tree line. Low. Fissure will bring him even lower, and Bloodright should finish him off. So he does end up getting taken out by the Bloodseeker, but I would say that's not the worst trade for the Anti-Mage. He gets a solo kill before that.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think dying not worth it, but when you consider that they save their buddy mid after a smoke is committed and 4 heroes go there,
yeah,
1 for 1, but a very expensive go on mid avoided. So yeah, I would say about even, maybe very slightly favoring mYi.
Okay. Well, now Tusk, he's got 2,000 gold, just about out of blink. They're going from Milan. No one starts it off, and wow, there was a Bloodseeker there.
That's some commitment. They have a lane ward, so they knew he was moving up, and
yeah,
now they're going to smoke on mid and look to go there as well.
That was a smart play from the Bloodseeker, though. He tried to TP out, so kind of forcing those extra spells. Oh, Gogi now takes the Winner's Curse mid. Mag rotates, Shadow A on the low ground with a fissure. Mech from Mitch will buy themselves some time and puts a Viper Strike out on the Shaker, but I don't think they're going to be able to close the gap to find a kill. Now the Anti-Mage joining the party, the cast bouncing around like crazy. No one wishing he had a Sonic Wave here. All he can do is scream. Gogi will fall. The Death Ward doing huge damage to no one. He will blink away, but could still be in some trouble. They've also lost their Tusk to the DOT of the Witch Doctor.
What would you kill for your Bloodseeker to be alive right now? Or to have a Zeus? Oh, God, this was painful to watch.
All these low-health heroes. That mech on Viper, though, turned the tides there, and I think that would have been a lot worse.
676 move speed. He's trucking up towards the top lane.
He's a race car right now. Anti-Mage, you better be careful.
AM may be dead, but
he's still going. He's... This is the time to fight.
Doesn't have vision of the AM, though. Oh,
now he does.
Now slowed down by the creeps. The frost creep could be his downfall. All right.
That pesky frost creep. Here we go. Mid lane, though, mYi, they do get the tier 1 tower. Mitchell grabbed the last hit there. I feel like this Viper has done a pretty good job of recovering. He's been picked on quite a bit and still had a pretty timely mech to go with his Aquila power treads. Still a force to be reckoned with, and Windranger also getting decent farm herself. Closing in on that Aghanim Scepter now, just about 500 gold away.
Yeah, the mech made a big difference in that fight mid. If there's no mech there, I think Windranger just easily dies, and then you're able to force the Viper back, if not actually kill him. But instead, Ranger survives for ages. They keep on chasing because they see that the Windranger's relatively low, and then they overcommit, and the Death Ward comes out, and Vega are just completely punished for it. So, yeah, I think we're just seeing that kind of standard, mech can really change the course of the fight. The storyline that we've seen so often is bottom lane, a focus fire will be used. Meanwhile, top tower taken. Looks like it will be a tier 1 for tier 1. This bottom tower, a bit more valuable, but overall, pretty much an even exchange.
Yeah, Mag now has the Blink Dagger. Thought he may try to initiate there, but instead they'll just continue splitting around the map. They'll have Anti-Mage pushing into the tier 2 in the top, Seema the Slayer soaking up a little XP in mid as the Queen of Pain rotates around. She's very close to an Aghanims also. She's only a couple hundred gold off. Just some counter warding here. So yeah, the Yule's first on Queen of Pain. I feel like this was a really good game for it. Gives you something to get rid of that silence if you do manage to get hit by the Bloodright. A way to just deal with the Bloodright and juke it all together. Also buy you some time when you're ruptured, Viper struck, even the Death Ward, a tool to interrupt the Witch Doctor or just keep yourself safe from all that damage. Really a lot of utility this game, and also gives Quap some much needed mana regen and mana increase. So I think that'll couple nicely with the Aghanims. Now she can just be very active with that short cooldown and bring out a lot of damage.
Yeah, the Yules is a really good pickup for the reasons you mentioned. Just helps you to cancel. It gives you a way to cancel the Death Ward. It gives you a way to remove the silence as well as to dodge the potential incoming silence.
It's just so much utility here.
Yeah,
it really
it's just a great item in general, and it helps you if your Blink's ever on cooldown. There's a lot of chasing heroes, the Viper, the Bloodseeker, and it's a cheap build-up. So I like the Yules pickup quite a bit. I think with that, Vega can, if this has to turn into more of a farm war, AM's not normally thought of as the best late game carry, but they have the Queen of Pain. They've got really strong late game supports here. The Shaker can be amazing. We've seen what Wyvern can do time and time again. I think both teams have pretty good late game, and it's much more going to come down to execution than anything else. Gold is even. Experience 4,000 advantage for Vega. That's very minimal at this stage of the game. We got a very even ball game here at the 21-minute mark.
Yeah, we certainly do. The Shaker will be one of the next big milestones for Vega in terms of that Blink Dagger. He's about halfway there now as he clears out this Campus Centaurs, so making some decent progress. And, well, Wyvern probably getting that Glimmer Cape. Already has the Cloak. Not really expecting the Wyvern to get much farm. It's almost more about levels than anything else. And halfway through 9, we'll have that upgraded Winter's Curse pretty soon. Not a bad ultimate to put some points
Smoke's going to break. They know Seema's nearby, and Grazine says, hello, sir.
They find him before he can get off the Arctic Burn, and that's a full duration Death Ward just laying into him. Bloodseeker will use the Bloodright to finish off that kill. A 5-hero rotation for the support Wyvern. That is some serious commitment.
Yeah, you want to get something. You smoke, you 5-man, and now they're going to try to Roche. They have focus fire. They might be able to do this. Vega, no vision. No, they do now. They do now see it. Lizard walks to place an observer ward. This is in sentry range for the Dire, but Roche is dropping very quickly. If they want to contest this, they got to go right now.
Well, Fissure from the high ground. This may help deter them as Milan is locked in. No, they're going to commit for it. Another hand of Midas comes out also onto the Viper. Sonic Wave.
The Quapple doesn't hit Milan. He was the one here that was rather low tanking it, but
quickly mech'd.
Ends up getting nothing done. They needed more there, and they just didn't have it.
All right, well, Roche goes to the Radiant side, and now 2 hands of Midas, so it seems like both teams are kind of buckling in towards that late game. To some degree, Anti-Mage picked up his Battle Fury, now he's just going from Ancients to Ancients, stealing the Radiant sides right now. It's already going for that Vlad's Offering for a little more sustainability, a little extra mana regen. Now he can just bounce around from camp to camp, lane to lane, and find all the farm that his heart desires.
Yeah, and Wind Ranger not going Midas here, but we've seen Wind Rangers really carry hard in the late game. If you can get the, especially when they've got like a good zoning and kind of defensive lineup here, going into mYi is every bit as difficult as going into Vega. Now we might see a go on mid, Queen of Pain ult being thrown out, and we didn't actually, I don't know if we officially mentioned she'd completed the Ags, but she had, so it wasn't a big deal that she whips at the pit as far as the next fight goes, and we'll just be using it to stall any potential incoming push, it looks like.
Yeah, Wind Ranger going for a pretty classic build here. Seems like Maelstrom will be next up after the Ags. And then after that, you can go for, you know, look towards a crit, just raw damage items. And maybe even an MKB this game, depending on if the Anti-Mage decides to go for a Butterfly at some point. We'll see some rotations here. A fight could break out around the Dire Ancients. Clop about the high ground as the Radiant side starts to move up. Mag on the other side of it gets ruptured, hit by the Bloodright, and he'll just opt to TP home. Teal on the way in, telekinesis not there in time.
But they found somebody else. Shackle shot onto no one. Oh, he blinks away as well.
Okay, he'll live, and all the while.
This is really good for Vega. They do not want to be fighting against the Aegis, and they're forcing the rotations. mYi got a double TP back. They don't get any kills. Perfectly played.
Exactly how you want to use your Anti-Mage. Let him farm as much as he can, pressure the lane, force them back, and all of a sudden you've got this Anti-Mage who's now making space for the rest of the team and also farming quite nicely. We'll see no one down bottom. Get caught by telekinesis, straight into a shackle. It'll latch, and that focus fire doing a hell of a lot of damage. Mag trying to save his friend, buys him just a little bit of time for the Yules to come out. Death Ward does not finish off the Quap. She blinks to safety, and Mag will be able to make it out also. A very close call, but that Queen of Pain just barely lives. Again, that Yule's Scepter coming in handy.
Boy, you'd sure love to have Bloodseeker there, but he had to TP top to deal with the split push, so he's out of the picture.
Yep, absolutely right. It does feel like Vega are just moving a little more fluidly around the map, like they have more of a clear plan where mYi are forced to play this reactionary style of Dota, and, well, Rubik just went from full to zero there as they jump on him. He just evaporates.
He got brutalized. That was... See ya!
And then more tower exchanging here. Tier 1s in the top and bottom going down on both sides. So pretty even trade, except Vega get one extra casualty in the mix. So finding a small edge there is Tusk. Now gets one step closer to his Shadow Blade. And Anti-Mage gets his Yasha delivered with 2 minutes left on the Aegis.
I really feel like we haven't seen a whole lot of the Bloodseeker this game. You know, you mentioned how he wasn't having that explosive start that some other games have shown, and
yeah,
I continue to feel like it's been kind of a meh pick thus far. Oh, no one. Throwing out the Yules, man. Is he going to blink away? He will eventually, but he waited a while for this, and Rubik doesn't have to blink any longer.
Uh-oh, but there's a Rupture out on the Earthshaker. He'll try to TP home. Not happening. The Bloodseeker's got the damage, and he will find the kill. The Queen of Pain has made it back so far. Bloodseeker, not much extra speed right now as he tries to hunt somebody down, so... Okay, Earthshaker instead of Quap. I guess that's a worthy trade-off, though. Perhaps not. The Shaker was very close to that Blink Dagger. And that'll slow him down a little bit.
That's a very good point. I think that makes it an even better kill here for mYi.
Yeah.
Finally able to get involved a bit. But yeah, outside of that, it's been very quiet for Milan. And I mean, I think having the Seeker is always going to be nice versus AM just to rupture him and keep him pinned down during the fights. But the AM seems to be much more focused on split pushing.
Oh, Viper strikes the illusion here. Tusk got to be happy with that as Vega continue to press back mYi. They've got the numbers advantage, it looks like. Walrus Punch to get things started onto Lizard. And again, the Rubik just gets picked on and evaporated. Viper pops the mech. A lot of low mana heroes here. It could be a decent mana void here for Pasha. Sonic Wave connects on Mitch. That sets up the kill there. Bloodright almost hits no one, but the shackle expires at the last possible second. 2-0 as Vega continue to stroll down the mid lane.
They have Aegis, mYi, but they're getting pushed around here. I guess they went for the double Midas. They don't have the Witch Doctor Ags yet, but I think it's much more just Vega 5-manning a bit more effectively. They've been able to move mYi around the map with the anti-mage split push. They've avoided taking fights where mYi have all 5 grouped up together, and then they pounce and look for pickoffs like we saw the kill bottom. We now see the 2 kills on Stragglers mid. Always finding an opportunity where they have the +1, and a lot of it just comes down to the AM and the Queen of Pain being the 2 best split pushers in this game, I think, more than anything else.
Yeah, and what's scary here is that the anti-mage is really starting to take off in terms of farm. He's #1 on net worth now. He's surpassed the Bloodseeker, who is comfortably #1 for most of this game. Milan's picked up his BKB, still at 10-second charge, ready to rock and roll as an S and Y also gets completed. But I feel like if this continues at a similar pace, this anti-mage is just going to keep getting bigger and badder, and mYi will be more and more limited on tools to deal with him. He'll have a Manta style completed, and just about a minute's time here as he continues to rotate around, and that's kind of the beginning of the end. The end of Anti-Mage being weak sauce and the beginning of him taking over the game.
Yeah, this was not a 1v5 anti-mage game, even so. He didn't have that great of a start. It was like a 20-plus minute Battle Fury. He's done really well since then. As we've been talking about, though, Rupture is good against him. Focus Fire can own anti-mage in the fights, and they have other heroes that can dish out big damage, like the Witch Doctor. Viper more of just a distraction and tank. He's rather under-farmed for a core at this point, but yeah, I don't think AM can do it alone, but I definitely think he can split push really effectively this game and constantly can keep mYi on the back foot, which is what we're seeing now. Pushes in top, forces the rotation, then just walks away.
Yeah, well, and the nice thing for Vega as well is they have a lot of frontliners. They don't need that anti-mage to come in at the beginning of a fight. You can start things off with a Winner's Curse, you can start things off with a Fissure, maybe a Blink Echo, as now that's a possibility for their Shaker. And you've got the Tusk, who has a Shadow Blade, a Blink Dagger, so he can initiate quite easily, as we may see on mid here as they wrap around. Anti-mage hops in, Walrus Punch, and there you go. This is a pretty safe fight for Anti-mage, and he ends up with yet another kill. So they have a lot of tools to make space for this anti-mage, set up the fight, then let him come in and kind of play cleanup once heroes get into that Mana Void territory.
And you can just see them slowly but surely starting to put their own chokehold out on mYi. It's been Vega on the defensive for, I'd say, that first 15-20 minutes, but now they're the ones in the driver's seat. They get some great aggressive wards down. They've got the hill wards on both sides of the Radiant map. This is not something mYi want to be allowing, and well, they may have to invest in some additional sentries here, if not a gem outright. If they don't, AM can just split push freely. Vega's always going to be able to find the better pick-off opportunities, and if they see too many heroes, they just back off and wait for a better go.
And also a lane ward here in the mid. Mag starting to hunt around. There is a sentry ward down here. He needs to be a little bit careful, and he'll just blink back and break his.
They saw 2 heroes sitting mid, and he's like, I'm not having any of that.
Yeah. And, you know, on paper, you've got a Battle Fury on one side and 2 Hands of Midas on the other. And you'd sort of think, well, those are comparable farming tools. So as we scale towards the late games, all things equal, they'll boost each other in a similar manner. But the difference is the Battle Fury opens up a lot more options for Anti-Mage. It lets him become that split pusher because he can clear waves so quickly. The Viper with a Midas, it's not really opening up too many options for the Viper. It's helping him keep up in terms of farm and XP, but it's not really making him survive any easier. It's not really helping him put out that much more damage. The attack speed is pretty minimal at this point in the game.
It's opening up his own new bank account, but that's really about it.
So there's a big difference there. Oh, Smoke gets broken. Big Echo from the Shaker to get things started. They'll drop Milan in a matter of seconds here as Lizard also falls. Yule's out onto Grizzine, and he's going down as well. It's a 3-0. Tusk making that possible. And we got a pesky little anti-mage here doing some split push. Gogi connects with a shackle that will repel him, but he still does half damage to a tier 3 tower. That's the best of both worlds. You win a fight and siege the base at the same time. Everything's just going Vega's way here.
And this started again when they had the Aegis and the Bloodseeker. Of course, that's gone now. Map control is gone now. Roshan going to respawn in 2 minutes, and mYi, I still think on paper all these heroes scale pretty damn well in the late game, but in terms of strategy and overall control over the map, it seems clear that Vega just have the more solid game plan for acquiring that and then using it to their advantage.
They did pick up a gem, though, as you were mentioning. It is on the Rubik right now. A risky endeavor for mYi, but as you mentioned, I think worthy at this point. They need to do something to open up the map and just make some space for themselves to farm. It's kind of like Vega have just come in and redrawn the river down a little more forward and just said, no, this is now our territory. Your ancients are now ours. Some of your jungle is now ours. We'll give you this one here. We'll give you those leftovers. Have fun. Knock yourself out with those hellbears.
Yeah, you guys can practice in the kiddie pool, but we're gonna take the Olympic one for ourselves. So good luck with that, and then we'll compete in a couple of months.
Yeah, long Roche respawn here, close to the max timer. Both teams kind of waiting it out. We'll see the Shaker scout things out a bit. This one will be a lot more difficult for mYi. I don't really see them contesting this Roche unless they can do some kind of a smoke play, maybe pick somebody off before the fight starts, but. This is now where the dire advantage is
going in top. He gets the bash of Milan. Easy solo takedown.
That is huge.
It's at that point now where AM can solo kill almost anyone, I want to say, if he gets that initial bash.
Yep.
And soon enough, it'll be an Abyssal. Andrew, he's up to 2,000 gold.
Yeah, he's really pulling ahead now. Look at the net worth. He's 50% up on the Bloodseeker, the leading farmer for mYinsanity. Is even the Winter Wyvern finding farm now gets a Blink Dagger. I feel like it's not that often you see a Wyvern able to farm one up in this capacity, but that's huge. That opens up for some pretty big Winter's Curse opportunity.
They're trying to make a go on mid here. Blink forward into an instant Walrus Punch. Evaporates the Witch Doctor. And now a Desolator about to come out for Mag. That's just going to make this Walrus Punch hit all the harder.
Oh, God.
Getting to be a concern here.
Yeah.
It really feels like Vega just have more confidence in their moves, I think, more than anything else. You mentioned the supports farm. Remember how poor they were around that 10 to 15 minute mark? They had a level 4 Wyvern around 11 minutes, and then they get the kill top. It's on the Viper, who was level 8 at the time. All of a sudden, he gets 5.5. Shaker had been farming bottom, gets 5, and once they got those support levels, it feels like that's where the game really started to even out and eventually to just turn their way out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The supports have had a much different impact. You can even see just the difference in inventories. Rubik is completely broke. 0, 5, and 3. Sage's Mask, Wand, and Tranquil Boots. If you look at the other support, Witch Doctor, he's working on an Aghanims, but yeah, still pretty far away. Roche goes down in the blink of an eye to the Dire side. Now an Aegis for the Anti-Mage. You look at the supports on the Dire side. Blink Daggers aplenty, a Glimmer Cape, soon a Force Staff for this Earthshaker. They can just do so much more with the items they've been able to farm up from all this space.
They really can, and I'm starting to feel like in a lot of games, Bloodseeker as just kind of a standalone maybe isn't that scary. If you don't have great synergy with either the Blood Rage, like a Zeus or a Lina, or with the Silences, we might see a jump here on top. Mag hunting, not going to find Gogi. Looks like he'll back off in the end. Okay. Or with the silence, like with a Naga Sleep or some sort of big AoE stun or vacuum that can set it up. Maybe Bloodseeker's just not that scary. I feel like he just hasn't had an impact in most of the games that I described.
Abyssal rains down from the skies, and the Bloodseeker doesn't even get to go, cast a single spell. No buyback for him in the grave for a minute. The glyph comes out, but this 5v4 is damn scary. Still an Aegis for the Anti-Mage. BKB from no one debuted. Mech utilized by the Radiant side, but it's just going to buy them a couple seconds here. They'll still lose their tier 3 tower. Shackle does not latch on a hero. Now Lizard just gets dropped by the AM. Winter's Curse comes out onto the Wind Ranger. Gogi will not be able to take the heat, and they'll send her right back to the kitchen. Down goes the Viper as well as this fight finishes off. GG is called from mYi. A great performance from Vega, and man, that goal graph just tells the story. Even, and then, whew, once they got that momentum, they just never let up.
Very nice turnaround there. It was never a big lead for the Radiant. We even mentioned it was only 2,000 gold, but it felt like mYi were starting to kind of snowball the game. The AM had a slow start. They had to rotate the lanes a lot early. For me, I think Mag was quietly probably the most important player for the team. He got a lot of levels early, and he did a lot with that. Even like he wasted a lot of mYi's time. They tried to gank him quite a bit. Yeah. A few cases they killed him, but it cost them a lot, and that gave the AM all kinds of space. And in general, I think